Hey, did y'all hear? I don't know if you heard. We hadn't heard. We had just found out today. I was today old when I found this out. Did you know there was an attempted, well, I should just say attempted. There was someone that was planning to attempt to assassinate the president. Did y'all know that? As recent as a few weeks ago. Well, you may not know about it because of what it entailed. You see, there's a whole lot of stuff entailed in it, and we're gonna react to the video how they are breaking it the news to you. Maybe you can see what's wrong with it when we give you the outside details that they're not willing to give you. But we thought it kind of interesting enough to have at least a conversation, a small one, about the situation, because it's been I think three attempts so far. The one with the ear, which they're calling fake, apparently that didn't happen. The golf course, and I think there was one other one that they end up foiling. So this one in particular is an interesting one to say the least. So we'll let the news, because they're always let the news talk about it, see what they got to say. Tell us, Mr. Newsman. Tell us all about it.
Now to a Wisconsin teenager accused of killing his parents to fund an alleged plot to kill President Trump.
Okay, we got to stop. Sorry, I might be pausing a lot. It's not very long, only a minute plus, but let's analyze this real quick. The individual, his process was to off his parents, one stepfather, by the way, and the other one his mom, in order to facilitate the plot to end President Trump. This one should be good. This is like Jack Reacher, really movie type stuff here.
ABC's Christian Cordero joins with the latest. Good morning to you.
Hey, Will, good morning. So many questions with this one. According to the warrant, a grandparent and a school resource officer called for a welfare check. It had been about 2 weeks since anyone saw the teen or his parents.
I'm going to go on a limb and say something because I got kids too. Please, if the school is taking 2 weeks to find out where you at, I don't know, but I don't know what kind of school that is. My kids miss one day, and I get 15 texts. 15 saying, where your kid at? Where your kid at? Is your kid okay? We didn't see your kid today. 2 hours later, where your kid at? If it's an excuse absence, please let us know. I can show you right now text messages about just one child. He got sick, and we forgot to call. We got text that morning. We got a text in the middle of the day. We got a phone call later that day. And even after we told him he was sick, we got more texts saying he was missing. 2 weeks. You got to have other people call. Anyway, again, I think we'll understand why in a bit here.
This morning, newly unsealed court documents allege this Wisconsin teenager, Nikita Cashapp, killed his parents as part of a larger plot to assassinate the president and attempt to overthrow the U.S. government. Cashapp's mother, Tatiana, and stepfather, Donald Mayer, were found shot and killed in their Waukesha home during a welfare check in late February.
We're in April. Okay, we're in April. Late February. That meant the whole of March, right? The entirety of March went by. Ain't nobody heard about this. Late February, all of March. We halfway through April, and now we're hearing about some possible assassination attempt on the president. Again, it'll make sense. It'll make sense when we flesh out a couple of details that I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. They forgot, or they didn't know. Nobody knew about this stuff. It's just hanging out there in the woods. Nobody knew about it. But remember, February. We're in April now. Okay, cool.
Body was appeared to have been deceased for some time. Was unable to definitively identify who it was.
Investigators say the 17-year-old Cashapp killed them to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out his plan. Officials add they found material on the suspect's phone related to a neo-Nazi group described by the FBI as a satanic cult. They also say they discovered a 3-page document allegedly written by Cashapp calling for the start of a revolution to, quote, save the white race.
Okay. I don't mean to laugh, but I do for one reason. Do you guys find it odd that all the time they find stuff like this? They always seem to. Okay, I grew up in the old way that you don't want to leave paper trail. I thought that was the stupid me. I thought you just don't write stuff down that you don't want people knowing. You know what I mean? Like I'm notorious for, if I don't want somebody to know something, I don't tell them. But every last one of these people, they all have a manifesto, and not just any manifesto, a detailed manifesto. I mean, they go ham writing. Some of them even type it up. They go to putting diagrams and pictures and timelines and dates and all this stuff in this manifesto. I'm just curious as to why. The why process is eluding me as to why you would do that. But hey, neo-Nazi, satanic cult. Oh, anyway.
The documents allege Cassapp paid, at least in part, for a drone and explosives, and that other parties knew of Cassapp's plan, adding some even offered advice and assistance.
Some parties. Now, again, I told you we'd be getting some fun stuff. Some parties. Not just, it's just random people. Don't worry about who they are. Some parties. We've told you before in Too Strong a couple of things. Usually when people don't want you to know stuff, they don't say it, but they say it without saying it. Or they try to tell you, nothing to see here. Don't look this way, nothing here. Just some parties. You'll understand why they say that in a minute.
He was arrested in Kansas after police say he drove through a stop sign in his parents' car.
Cassapp is in custody on a $1 million bond. He has not yet entered a plea, Gio, and is scheduled to be arraigned in May.
Oh, so now we got to wait till May. Okay, well, I'll tell you why. You see, I'm going to say allegedly, okay? We're going to say allegedly since the case is going to take a bit to kick off. Allegedly, this young man had been in touch with someone who spoke Russian, possibly from Russia, possibly from Ukraine, because they speak Russian in Ukraine too, to find a way for him to find his way to Ukraine once the deed was done. For some reason, that's the idea. The idea was to off the parents. His mother was from Ukraine, by the way. Off the parents, escape to Ukraine with the money, at least what was left, because he already bought the drones apparently and all the weaponry. After he did what he had to do in order to facilitate the collapse of the United States and enhance the rise of neo-Nazism and white people and saving the race. My biggest question, I have two big questions. Why Ukraine? And if you are trying to say you're going to make sure that neo-Nazism rises to the top, why end the one person that everybody seems to say is the kingpin of neo-Nazism? I'm trying to figure this one out. I thought I was told in my ears over and over that he is a white supremacist, President Trump, that is. And he is parts of the Mustache Man clan. That's what I had heard. I kept hearing that. All he's doing is pushing Mustache Man mythology and all that. That's all he does is Mustache Man stuff. If he is such a Mustache Man lover, why are the Mustache Man followers trying to off Mustache Man's main man? To run to the one country that you say doesn't have any of this stuff to hide. Wouldn't it be then that if you went there, you'd be able to be extradited here to get... It doesn't make sense unless, of course, none of the stuff we're told makes any sense and it's not true. And what he's actually doing is escaping to the one place where he knows he's going to be safe. Just a theory. I said allegedly, didn't I? I said allegedly. Conspiracy theory says this. Here's what the conspiracy people will say. You see, what happened was the people in Ukraine, at least the regime over there, actually have a regime called something akin to brown shirts. So they actually still have a lot of the traces of Mustache Man that live there. And so him escaping there would actually be better for him because they would never extradite him back to the United States because they took out the one person that was not intent on solving the problems of Ukraine. He wasn't even going to send money. Why would they do that? So why would we send him back? That's a conspiracy. And the other part of the conspiracy is that the reason he was doing all this was because it was by design. And he had to make sure he left a manifesto that proved that he was a white nationalist and a racist. But if he did it so that he could make sure everybody know that Trump was... Okay, I think that's where my conspiracy run out. I don't know where to go with it with that one because it after that point it started making no more sense as a conspiracy. But the Ukraine one I think could fly. So the kid killed his parents, was talking to someone that at least spoke Russian, possibly from Russia, about escaping to Russia. He only got caught because he ran a stop sign and then was arrested. But we hadn't heard nothing for a whole month plus. Look, I understand not liking Mr. Trump. I get it. I understand. He's braggadocious. He talk a lot, talk big, talk. I mean, all he do is talk. I get it. I understand why some people don't like him. I do. I understand fully. However, um, going to this extent seems a bit too much. It seems, but then again, I'm going to bring in social media into this. You remember now in social media, people been asking for it. And I'm serious. Like if you were to go to TikTok today, even on X, you will actually see people on there saying, I can't wait for somebody to do this, and this to the current president. It doesn't, they'll say, hey man, even if you do go to prison, we got you. We'll put money on your books. I even saw this one, and I'm not joking. You can look this up. I wish I could. I saw this one girl. She said to the camera, and she said it with a straight face, if you were to go to prison, I would send you anything that you could possibly want, including spicy stuff. And I don't mean food. Now, if you take that thought process, you can see why they write stuff down, and you can see why they're not mentioning certain details about certain people, because certain people are linked to certain places that they don't want included in a certain activity. I get it. I get it. But if you're about telling the truth, maybe tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I don't know. I don't know. But we are where we are, and if y'all hadn't heard about it, we can understand why. But if you have heard about it, I can also understand why, because there are lots of us that scour the internet day in, day out, looking for things like this. For us, though, shocker number 4. This would be the 4th ideology that came forward saying they wanted the same outcome. I'm trying my best to phrase things properly so you two don't think I'm trying to either, I don't know, glorify it or encourage it or whatever they may think I'm saying. All I'm saying is that there are some things that the news will tell you that is not the full story. And right now they just want to leave it as some crazy dude that was just, trying to do something that he could never do, but they leave out some very important details. Because if it was that he was trying to flee to Ukraine, chances are he might have had at least a hand or a heads up or some inside information of how to carry out once he bought said drones and how that would work. Don't know. Case will tell, but we still got to wait until May 7th, to be exact. So we still got some time. Now we'll see whether or not the news in full will start talking about it, or if it goes by the wayside. If it goes by the wayside, conspiracy people unite, come to the front. If it does go by the wayside and you don't hear anything about it in May, I think you'd be fully warranted in running rampant with your so-called conspiracy, because it might actually not be a conspiracy anymore by that point. But whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear you in the comment section, because this one's an interesting one, to say the least, more so because we hadn't heard anything. And secondarily, the reasons for why he's doing it seems almost contrary to what people are saying that the man in power right now actually is. So if you don't mind, please share this as well. But I want you to interact. Let me know what you think about this. Does it make sense? Does it seem like it's fake? Does it seem like a lie? Or if it is true, who do you think's behind it? Those are my questions for you. And if you have any for us, make sure to leave them in the comment section at the end of this video.
Training athletes, build leaders, changing communities. At Mentors for Life, sponsored by the Bully Me Bad Project, we provide free professional sports training and mentorship to youth with passion, drive, and the desire to grow. We connect them with top-tier coaching and leadership tools that unlock their full potential. Our athletes train with elite professionals like Coach Cedric Booty of CM3, who's worked with NBA players such as Jaden Ivey and Blake Wesley, and the dynamic team of Tevin Lake and Bobo from T2 Sports Performance. Together, they've trained standout athletes including Notre Dame football stars, NFL offensive lineman Danny Piner, and Kyron Williams. In a school or neighborhood of 1,000 youth, 5 redirected lives can mean 5 future leaders, 5 families spared heartbreak, and 5 powerful stories of hope. And this is backed by research from the Money Smart Athlete Foundation, which shows that athletes have a powerful influence on youth behavior, confidence, and long-term success. We don't just build athletes, we build mentors. High school students who complete our program will become certified Mentors for Life members and will be paid to speak, lead, and coach the next generation. To support Mentors for Life, all you have to do is click here if you're on a mobile device, or click here if you're on a computer to donate or learn more. Or You can reach us directly at mentorsforlife574@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mentors for Life. Donate today and help save our youth.